I'm the bodyguard for young Master Liam. After Liam got his heart broken, he buried his face in my chest and sobbed. Max, my heart hurts so much. Let me take a bite of your pecs. Okay. An hour later, Liam's heart stopped aching, but my chest was throbbing. My shirt clung to the teeth marks, chafing against raw skin. It stung and itched like hell. The bastard bit hard enough to draw blood. I should report this to the butler for hazard pay. As I contemplated my workers' compensation claim, Liam pinned me down with that whiskey-rough voice. Max, open your mouth. I obediently parted my lips. His laughter vibrated against my collarbone. Good boy, Max. Then his teeth found my tongue. This time it didn't hurt. Just this maddening itch spreading through my veins. Liam cradled my skull like some precious thing, devouring me until I felt like an overinflated balloon, swollen tight, desperate for release but too dumb to ask. When I finally choked out, "Sir, I'm burning up," he called me pathetic even as his fingers dipped below my waistband. "Don't worry, Max," he murmured against my throat. "I'll take care of you." He was mid-caretaking when his phone blared. Liam wiped his hands with clinical precision before answering. A frantic voice carried through. "Sir, Xander's in trouble. From what the other guards say, Xander's Liam's kept boy. Never met him myself." Liam's face iced over as he stormed out. The room temperature seemed to drop 20 degrees the moment the door slammed. I mechanically redressed, then stood staring at the ruined sheets. Ended up stripping the bed. Couldn't let the staff see what we'd done. Liam returned near dawn with this fragile-looking kid bundled in his arms. Pretty thing, despite the fever flush. Same ethereal beauty as Liam himself. They called a doctor who stayed till sunrise. Turns out the kid's Xander. Ungrateful brat barely recovered before snapping at Liam. "Liam, I don't like you. I'll repay every cent. But that's all you'll get from me." Baffling. Since when do debtors act so entitled? Liam just pushed a soup bowl toward him. "Eat first." Xander stormed upstairs instead. "Max." Liam gestured at the abandoned chair. "Finish this." My tail would have wagged if I had one. Creamy mushroom soup. I demolished the bowl, then eyed the tureen like a starving mutt. Liam slid the whole pot over without comment. "Good?" he asked when I finally looked up, chin dripping. I nodded vigorously, watching him prop his cheek on one hand. The dawn light caught gold flecks in his eyes. For that heartbeat, he looked content. Liam said, "I haven't eaten yet." I stared at the empty bowl. What now? Didn't save any for Liam. He beckoned me over. "Come here." I stood and approached. Liam grabbed my collar, pulled me down until our faces were level, staring at my lips. "Let me taste." His tongue pried my lips apart. I thought Liam was being too greedy. Next time I'll definitely leave him some. The sound of shattering glass made me realize Xander stood behind us. His face looked bloodless as he bit his lower lip. "Liam, I'm leaving. I won't stay here." Liam released me. "Stop the tantrum. Your grandmother's life still depends on me." Xander's eyes turned red-rimmed. "Liam, what am I to you? Bought and paid for. What else?" Liam frowned. Xander fled upstairs looking ready to cry. Seeing Liam's stormy expression, I quietly slipped out to request a raise from Ethan. My reasoning? Workplace injury from being bitten. Ethan tightened his grip on the fountain pen, his gaze inscrutable behind his glasses. "Where did he bite you?" I lifted my shirt, revealing teeth marks across my muscles. The pectorals looked particularly swollen. Ethan snapped the pen shut. "Elsewhere?" "My thighs. Ankles too. Not lying." He removed his glasses. "Strip. If Liam orders it, fine. But who was this guy? Not falling for that." Ethan's stare felt unnerving. "Forget the raise then," I muttered. Ethan gripped my wrist. "Max, show me and I'll approve it." Grinning, I stripped efficiently. Ethan studied the marks before gesturing to the chair. I sat obediently as he knelt with ointment, kneading each bruise with clinical thoroughness. His pale fingers looked obscene against my tan skin. When his hands reached my lower abdomen, I shuddered. "Enough. These'll heal." Ethan shook me off. "You don't hurt? These offend me." The salve left me feverish and swollen. Wiping his hands, Ethan loomed over me. Max, never let Liam touch you again. But he's Liam. Ethan's knuckles whitened around his glasses. Exactly. The medicine cabinet mirror reflected his expression. That same hungry look Liam gets before pouncing. I suddenly understood why stray cats avoid our mansion's west wing. Grandpa Chin said to obey Liam. Not even Liam. Ethan murmured, lowering his gaze as his tone softened. Kissing is for people in love, not for games. I didn't understand. What's being in love? I asked Ethan. His dark eyes held mine. Want to learn? When I nodded, he braced one hand on the armrest and pressed the other over my racing heart, leaning closer until our breaths tangled. My throat tightened as he hovered millimeters away, finally murmuring, "Heart's going wild." His lips curved as he pulled back slightly. Max, do I look good? You do. Better looking than Liam? I swallowed hard. You can't compare yourself to Liam. Grandpa Chen's teachings echoed. Liam's perfection remained absolute, even if Ethan's features outshone constellations. Ethan's smile vanished. He retreated to light a cigarette, the match flare illuminating his stormy expression. Through curling smoke, he stated calmly, "Sometimes I want to fuck you senseless." Blinking, I offered truth. You'd lose that fight. His bitter chuckle hung between us. Later, Ethan forced mandatory leave upon me. 7 days. Paid. Crushing his cigarette, he gripped my chin with nicotine-stained fingers. Watched you for a decade. If Liam devours you whole. His thumb brushed my cheekbone. Where'd that leave me? Liam wouldn't eat me. Just nips and touches, never breaking skin. Humans don't consume each other. But I stayed silent. Foolish as Ethan acted, his kindness warranted gratitude. My vacation ended the night Xander fled. Returning to the mansion, I found Ethan and security teams hunting the escapee, leaving Liam alone amidst shattered glass and whiskey stench. Liam sprawled on the carpet, barefoot and bottle in hand. Max, he rasped, beckoning with liquor-slurred grace. Come. Kneeling before him, I steadied my breathing. His fingers combed through my bangs. Where've you been? On leave. His thumb traced my features, pausing at my lips. No calls? Left your master to rot? Before I could answer, he grinned dangerously. Drink with me. I don't. Learn. Glass clinked against my teeth as he forced the bottle in. Burning liquid flooded my throat, overflow trickling down neck and chest, soaking into waistband. Liam watched my choking struggle with tender cruelty. Swallow faster, Max. When the bottle emptied, he wiped spilled whiskey from my mouth. Wasteful. His whisper clung like the alcohol's burn. He pressed closer to lick my jawline, tracing the trail of spilled liquor down to my Adam's apple. My head swam with feverish heat as I pushed against Liam's head. Ethan had told me this wasn't gnawing, it was kissing. Ethan also warned me never to kiss people casually. Tilting my neck, I swallowed hard while cradling the back of Liam's head. Mr. Chin, we shouldn't. Why the hell not? Liam's palm burned against the small of my back as he kissed lower, fingers slipping beneath my waistband. Doesn't feel good. Max? It did. But Ethan said, kissing's for people in love. Not for playing around. Truthfully, I didn't fully understand, but Ethan's words were always right. Liam froze, slowly rising. His shadowed gaze pinned me like moth to flame. Think you know anything about love? Retard? I'm not stupid. I mumbled at the carpet. Playing around? Liam's laugh chilled as he unwound his tie. The silk hissed across my eyes, plunging me into darkness. Listen well, Max. I'll play with you however I damn please. The lump in my throat turned to stone. If Ethan were here, he'd know what to do. Blindfolded, I could only hear Liam's whiskey-rough voice. Arms up. I obeyed. Fabric rustled as my shirt peeled away. Open. The cotton gag bit into my mouth before Liam knotted it tight. His belt buckle clinked, leather snapping taut around my wrists. Sightless. Bound. Silent. Liam's teeth broke skin at my collarbone. I arched with strangled gasp. Sweat-slicked muscles trembling as he lapped at the blood. Would he drain me dry tonight? Only when his mouth moved lower did I dare breathe. His lips brushed my ear, voice cracking like thin ice. Ryan. I knew the secret. That first night Liam had sobbed into my neck. He'd moaned Ryan's name. Xander looked just like him, same sharp jawline, same midnight eyes. Liam's fingers stilled on my chest. With sudden violence, he twisted the bleeding bite mark. My choked cry seemed to enrage him further. Squirming like some fucking whore, he snarled, kneading the bruise forming at my hip. You want it rough? When he flipped me onto the sofa, I instinctively struggled as my pants caught at my knees. Knees apart, Max. His thumb stroked my spine, electric terror shooting to my scalp. The front door's creak brought perverse relief. Out! Liam's roar shook the room. Footsteps advanced, deliberate, thunderous. Glass shattered as furniture crashed. Liam's curse tore through the air. Ethan! The world exploded in breaking crystal and splintering wood. Hearing Liam's cry of pain, I quickly struggled free from the belt binding my wrists and tore off the necktie covering my eyes. Turning around, I saw Ethan pinning Liam to the floor, raining punches on his face until the young master lost consciousness. I lunged forward, gripping Ethan's wrist to stop his fist. Ethan, that's Liam you're hitting. You can't do this. Mr. Chun will punish you. My voice trembled. Growing up, Liam had always been mischievous. Whenever he got into trouble or got hurt, Ethan would take the blame. The old patriarch would declare Ethan failed his duty to watch over the Chun heir. Back then, Liam would pinch my cheeks calling me silly goose, steal candies Ethan gave me, and devise endless pranks to make me cry, only to coax me back with toys before tormenting me again. The worst was when Liam killed the goldfish Ethan gifted me for my birthday. Why the tears? Liam had laughed, wiping my face with rough thumbs. I'll buy you 10 more. It's just a stupid fish. But that fish mattered. Ethan had declared the day he gave me that shimmering creature would be my birthday since I never knew mine. When I finally slapped Liam for killing it, Ethan was forced to kneel overnight in the snowstorm. I pressed against frost-rimmed windows watching his thin frame tremble under accumulating snow, snot and tears freezing on my face as I begged Mr. Chun. I hit him. Let me take the punishment. The patriarch's wrinkled hand gripped my shoulder. Max, you must obey Liam. Only then will Ethan stay safe. Understand? I nodded through hiccuping sobs. Memorizing this rule: obey Liam. Protect Ethan. Even when Liam killed my fish, I obeyed. Go beg the young master if you want Ethan back. Mr. Chun ordered. I pleaded until Liam pinched my cheeks raw before relenting. Ethan returned burning with fever for 3 days. Clutching his scorching body, I whispered, "Let's run away, Ethan." His cracked lips brushed my ear. Where? Max? We've got no home. Remember how you starved at the orphanage? Here at least you eat. His calloused palm patted my back. Be good. I'll protect you. Thunder rumbled as Ethan entered dripping rainwater, white dress shirt clinging to defined muscles. Water droplets trembled at his sharp jawline like frozen tears. Max. His voice cut through the storm's growl. Why don't you fight back when Liam treats you this way? Ethan and I were chosen from the orphanage. Clever Ethan always found extra food while I went hungry. Mr. Chun originally wanted only him, but Ethan gripped my grubby hand insisting, I take Max or stay. Without Ethan, no family would have adopted a simpleton like me. But I'm not stupid. I see how the Chens mistreat Ethan. If I had a home, I'd shelter him from their cruelty. The raindrop finally fell as Ethan waited for my answer, his storm-gray eyes holding decades of unspoken sacrifices. I opened my mouth, then closed it. He's the young master of the Chun family. Obey the Chun heir. So just because he's Liam, you let him mess with you? Let him ruin you completely? Ethan turned his head, his gaze icy behind glasses. He gripped my wrist, dragging me through the bathroom door before slamming me against the sink. His fingers dug into my jaw, forcing me to stare at the mirror. Look at yourself. His thumb brushed the bite mark on my neck, fucking covered in Liam's marks. His voice cracked. You know what I felt walking in here? Seeing you kneeling so obediently for him? Letting him step on you, tie you up, strip you bare, every inch of you marked by him. Tell me, Max, where hasn't he touched? Ethan's eyes were red-rimmed, his hand trembling against my cheek. If I'd been 5 minutes later, what would I have walked in on? He pressed his forehead to my shoulder, breath hitching. I was terrified, Max, fucking terrified. I didn't understand his fear. Maybe he thought Liam would devour me. Ethan, don't worry. The Chens don't eat people. Shut up. His palm covered my mouth. I can't forgive this. One more word and I'll take you right here. His tongue traced the bite marks Liam left, each flick sending tremors through me. When he spun me around, my lower back hit the cold marble. Ethan's lips traveled downward with agonizing slowness, breath ghosting over my stomach. Harder, I begged. Fingers tangled in his hair. Ethan bit my hip bone, hands sliding lower. I grabbed his wrist when fingers brushed denim. Why are you touching my ass? Stop talking. He growled. I traced his sharp cheekbones instead. Even furious, Ethan looked beautiful, hair disheveled, lips swollen from my kisses. When Liam touches me, it's a game. Why are you doing this? His teeth scraped my inner wrist. What do you think? I didn't know. Didn't care. Ethan's mouth burned trails across my hips, gaze molten when he looked up. My pulse thundered as he knelt before me, shirt rumpled and begging to be ruined. Ethan? I pressed his head lower, voice breaking. I'm so hard it hurts. Help me. He smacked my thigh. You won't die. Teeth tugged my waistband down. Later, as I stared dazedly at ceiling lights, Ethan loomed over me. Better with me or Liam? I grabbed his collar, tasting the answer on his lips. Ethan's pupils constricted, every muscle in his body tensing instantly. I lingered for a moment before pulling back, smacking my lips. Taste strange. Not good. Ethan chuckled darkly. You're complaining after that display of gratitude? Heat flooded my cheeks as he disentangled himself, leaning against the wall with assessing eyes. Why did you kiss me? I stared at my shoes. You're pleasant to look at. What about Liam? Not attractive enough for you? Liam is also handsome. Ever kissed him first? My head shook automatically. The corner of Ethan's mouth twitched. He perplexed me furious moments ago, now radiating smug satisfaction. Max. His voice dropped. Do you enjoy it when Liam kisses you? Another headshake. Next time he tries, punch him. Deal? Can't. My fingers twisted in the fabric of my shirt. He's the young master. Disobedience meant punishment for Ethan. They'd torment him again. Ethan with his fragile health that crumbled under slightest pressure. Ethan who might disappear forever if pushed too far. Ethan exhaled sharply through his nose. Then run. Come find me immediately. Can you do that? I nodded hesitantly. Good boy. His index finger crooked in invitation, that dangerous smile reappearing. Now kiss me properly. I closed the distance, capturing his lips, softer than I'd imagined. Addictive. When I began nibbling experimentally, Ethan groaned and cradled my skull. Fool. He murmured against my mouth. Open properly. The liquor's burn crept up my veins, dragging me into darkness. I awoke in Ethan's first floor quarters, faint voices seeping through the door crack. I retrieved Xander. Leave Max alone. Ethan's baritone held steel. Liam's derisive snort carried clearly. Tell me, Ethan, you're not actually sweet on that half-wit, are you? Max isn't stupid. Ethan's monotone could have frozen hell. Play with whoever you want. Young master, but not my kid. I've raised this child for 13 years. No one gets to humiliate them. A bottle shattered against wood. Your grandfather's fucking lapdog. What gives you the right to make demands? I eased the door open a sliver. Ethan leaned against the opposite wall, cigarette glowing between his fingers. His gaze locked with mine as he continued calmly. Ryan's returning from Geneva. One more slight against Max, and I'll have Xander deliver our regards. Imagine the headlines. Heir obsessed with maternal uncle? Corporate Scion Court's doppelganger of forbidden love? The silence crackled. Liam's breathing turned ragged. You dare threaten me? Without the Chun family dash. How long since you last visited headquarters? Ethan blew smoke toward the ceiling. The empire's crumbling. I hold the pillars up for old Mr. Chen Sake. But when I stop, the cigarette died under his shoe. Do you truly believe you can shoulder this collapsing edifice, Liam? Dark amusement colored his final whisper. The Chun family without me? Now that's truly nothing. The young master, Liam Chun, fell silent. After a long pause, he leaned back against the sofa and rasped. Just some idiot. You want him? Keep him. I've got plenty of pretty things around. Don't need some dull, rough-edged fool. Mr. Holt, Xander Holt, moved back to the third floor. Liam posted me, Max Dillon, outside his door, paranoid he'd run again. I stood guard for 7 days straight. Liam came twice during that week. His first visit reeked of whiskey. Within minutes, sounds started leaking through the door. Tighter. Liam growled. Xander's broken moans followed. Liam, slower. Please. It took me a while to understand. The vulgar commands grew cruder. Xander's cries louder. When my pager buzzed 2 hours later, Liam's voice came hoarse through the static. Max, get in here. I entered to find Liam shirtless in the armchair, pants slung low. Xander knelt naked at his feet, face pressed against Liam's thigh while Liam gripped his neck. I kept my eyes lowered. Sir. Liam studied me for eternity before flicking his cigarette. We're out of condoms. Fetch more. When I returned, Liam stood fully dressed outside Xander's room, smoke curling from his lips. His eyes locked on the box in my hands. You actually brought them? He laughed bitterly, crushing his cigarette. Fuck, Max, you're so damn obedient. During his second visit, I tried making myself scarce. Liam shoved his suit jacket over my head, hand lingering. Not bothered, right? Then stay. Listen. Don't move. His fingers tangled briefly in my hair. Knock if it gets too much. I'll come out. Promise. The words made no sense. Why would I mind? I didn't knock. He lasted barely an hour this time. A phone call sent him striding out, snatching his jacket from me. Moon Terrace. Now, we waited in the car till midnight. Liam reeked of cigars and cognac when he slumped into the passenger seat. Max, I don't love Ryan anymore. He'd met Ryan Gu tonight, that uncle 7 years his senior. At 18, I thought I'd die loving him. That cold demeanor. I tried replacing him with Xander. Closest copy I could find. Liam loosened his tie, voice cracking. Tonight I got him drunk. Could have had him right there. But all I kept thinking was, you're waiting in the car. His fingers brushed my bangs. Why are you always so good? The scent of his cologne thickened as he leaned closer. I'm done playing games. Name it. Anything. Even love. I swallowed hard. 20 grand? His face darkened. 10? I backtracked. Jesus. Max. Shut up. The engine hummed louder than my heartbeat as we drove through the neon-lit streets, his silence heavier than any rejection. Liam and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. At the doorway, Liam wished me good night, brushed my hair aside, and pressed a kiss to my forehead. When I looked up, Ethan stood watching us from the shadows, slowly crushing his cigarette underfoot. Liam noticed Ethan too, shrugging with forced nonchalance. I'm not messing around this time. Whatever level of sincerity you're showing, I'll match it. Ethan's glacial stare swept over me before he turned away without a word. He stopped acknowledging me completely after that. Whenever we crossed paths, he'd respond to my greetings with icy formality. Can I help you? As if I were a stranger. There was never anything urgent to discuss. I just wanted to hear his voice. Ethan became impossible to reach. Between managing the Chun family's estate, their corporations, and keeping tabs on Liam, he'd constructed an impenetrable wall. For 2 weeks, winter settled in my bones whenever our eyes met. Then his call came late one night, whiskey rough and deliberate. Max, come get me. The address led me to an upscale club downtown. Liam frequented these places, but Ethan? I found VIP room 603 pulsing with bass and neon. Through the haze, Ethan sat slouched on a leather couch, tie missing, 2 buttons of his dress shirt undone, dark hair disheveled. A pretty twink clung to his side, tilting a champagne flute toward his lips. Our eyes locked across the room. Ethan murmured something that made the boy giggle, fingers curling around Ethan's shoulder as he leaned in for a kiss. My Ethan. The Ethan who'd bandaged my skinned knees and stayed up tutoring me through high school algebra. Before I knew it, I'd shoved the interloper aside, positioning myself between them like a feral guard dog. Don't touch him. Silence swallowed the music. Someone snorted. Who's this stray? Ethan's arm draped over my shoulders, warm and heavy with bourbon. My ride's here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Gentlemen, I've got a puppy to calm down. We didn't speak until reaching the parking garage. He exhaled sharply, turning me to face him. Look at me, Max. I kept staring at his scuffed Oxfords, throat burning. I hate you, Ethan. The pause stretched endlessly before his cracked whisper came. Already? Calloused palms cradled my face, his forehead pressing against mine. Hurts, doesn't it? When I saw Liam kiss you last month. His breath hitched. It felt like swallowing broken glass. Every damn day since. He guided my head to rest against his shoulder, voice vibrating through me. Tell me truthfully now, do you really hate me? Fists clenched in his ruined shirt. I choked out. If Liam tries to kiss me again, I'll run so fast. Just don't let anyone else touch you. Please. Done. Ethan, my heart's breaking. His chuckle rumbled darkly as fingertips brushed over my pounding sternum. My fault. Never thought I'd stoop to jealousy games. The apology came rough against my temple. Won't happen again. When Liam later handed Xander a severance check and deed to a penthouse, the pianist turned chalk white. $5 million to disappear. Liam? What am I? A stain on your designer couch. Your grandmother's medical team remains funded. Liam's smile didn't reach his eyes. You're free, Xander. The shredded check fluttered like morbid confetti. Xander's slap echoed through the foyer. You'll regret this. As the door slammed, Liam collapsed dramatically against me. Ow! Max, kiss it better? I ducked, face flaming. Some wounds even loyalty couldn't salve. Ethan would be upset if he saw this. I quickly stepped back, moving too fast and nearly losing my balance. Ethan entered through the doorway just then, steadying me with a smirk. He turned to Liam and said, Liam, the old man wants you at the Chin family estate. Liam went upstairs to change. I crouched to gather the shredded check fragments. Ethan knelt beside me. Why bother with this trash? Clutching the pieces, I asked Ethan, can we tape it back together? He chuckled. Max, since when did you become so money obsessed? He snatched the check's corpse and tossed it in the trash, wiping my hands with his handkerchief. Honey, we don't pick up other people's trash. If you need money, I'll give it to you. Forget it. I side-eyed Ethan. Keep your cash. We're both working stiffs. Ethan wasn't exactly rolling in it either. The scarf I'd given him 5 years ago still hung around his neck. Last winter, when it started unraveling, he'd brought it to me for mending. I suspected Ethan earned less than I did. The man couldn't even afford a new scarf. Ethan studied me before laughing and ruffling my hair. Max, you've got the wrong idea about me. I shook my head. Poor Ethan. I'd knit him another scarf this winter. Liam had me drive them back to the Chen family estate. Ethan and Liam talked business the entire ride. Something about capital chains and liquidity that went over my head. Money troubles, probably. Their argument about cash flow management died when Liam snapped. Enough. The car filled with heavy silence. At the estate, Liam stormed out first. Ethan told me, wait here. Don't come inside. I fidgeted in the driver's seat until 6 p.m. Ethan emerged alone, slumping into the passenger seat. He muttered, Max, take us home. At Nanshan Court, Ethan bolted from the car before I fully parked, marching toward his quarters. I sprinted after him, wedging my foot in his doorway. Max, I'm exhausted, Ethan said, leaning against the doorframe. Go to bed. Ethan, he punished you. I insisted. Don't be ridiculous. He deflected. I'm not a child anymore. I shoved past him, kicking the door shut behind us. Pinning Ethan against the wood, I tore at his dress shirt. The fabric clung to his skin, damp with sweat, or when I yanked it up, raw meat stared back. His back lashed to hamburger. My hands shook. Who gave them the right? I followed every order. Why punish you? Why the tears? Ethan turned, thumbing moisture from my cheeks. You're acting like you're the one bleeding. Quit looking at me like that. His palm covered my eyes. You keep crying and I'll think you're asking for trouble. Just help me with the antiseptic. Ethan sprawled face down on the bed as I sprinkled powder over his wounds. He talked through gritted teeth. The City East project's frozen. Funds are tied up in limbo. Our liquid assets won't last the month. The Chens collapse without this deal. Old man Chen's furious. This was Liam's chance to prove himself worthy of inheriting the family business. A bitter laugh. Turns out the Silver Spoon kid's useless. Like when we were kids. Ethan kept explaining things I couldn't comprehend. He always did. Even if I didn't fully understand, it still gave me a sense of security. After this, the old man will really have to rely on me to prop up that useless black sheep of the Chen family. Max, I won't get beaten anymore. If you really care about me, don't just cry, you should come kiss me instead. The medicine was applied. I placed the bottle on the table. Ethan sat up, bracing himself against the bed. Max, do you want to kiss me? I did. Gripping the back of Ethan's head, I crushed my lips against his. That night, I checked my savings on my phone. $80. 000. 8 years of grinding at my job. Penny by penny. The next morning, I went to the realtor. Forget the 3-bedroom. I'll take the 2-bedroom listed at 80 grand. I'm buying it today. During my last vacation, I spent 5 days house hunting. The 3-bedroom I loved cost $1 million. I couldn't wait to save that much. Not when Ethan kept getting hurt. Compromising was the only way. The property deed bore my name. Squatting on the curb, I called Ethan. No answer. 2 minutes later, I tried again. Max? Ethan's voice finally came through. Ethan, I have a home now. Run away with me. He arrived within the hour, sprinting from the cab. I handed him the deed. 6th floor in this complex. 2 bedrooms. It's small, but I'll upgrade when I make more. Ethan's eyes reddened as he stared at the document. All those overtime shifts. This is what you were saving for? I nodded. Ethan, old mister. Chun treats you like garbage. Liam's no better. We didn't have a place before, but now we do. Come with me. He pressed his palms over his eyes. After a long moment, he yanked me into a suffocating embrace. Does your place have a bed? Yeah. Take me up. Liam's call came through as Ethan was wrestling with my belt. Ethan fished out my phone, hit answer, and held it to my ear. Max? Liam's voice sliced through. Ethan bit down on my lower back. A gasp escaped me, followed by a choked moan. What are you doing? Liam demanded. Icy. Ethan's mouth traveled south. I barely managed Ethan before he locked an arm around my waist. Relax. He murmured against my skin. I'll make it good. Only that night did I remember Liam's call had never disconnected. Curled against Ethan, I mumbled. He heard everything. Meant him to. What? Sleep. I'll handle your resignation tomorrow. My fingers brushed fresh blood on Ethan's back. Ethan, your wound is splitting open. Ethan took me to the Chun family estate. I hadn't seen Mr. Chun in years. Age had weathered him terribly, the servants whispering he could no longer stand. Ethan bowed respectfully. Mr. Chun, I wish to terminate my contract with the Chun Group. The penalty fee will be wired to your account. The old man's cane trembled. Ethan, who raised you? Who fed you? Your Chun blood through and through. Now you want to flee when tides turn? Never. I'll cover this quarter's deficit before leaving, Ethan said calmly. Consider it repayment. Liam's groan. I don't bear your name, nor did you ever treat me as family. This is best for all. Mr. Chen's laugh rasped like dead leaves. Foolish boy. I thought you grateful. Turns out you're just another snake. Ethan stared at the floor. If I lacked gratitude, I'd have abandoned this sinking ship years ago. Out. The cane slammed marble. Max. Ethan nudged me. Bow properly. I kowtowed 3 times. Outside, Liam approached through the courtyard. Ethan squeezed my shoulder. If he touches you, hit him. You're not his guard anymore. So I punched the air. Feel good? Ethan asked. Damn right. Fuckers. Liam spat. The day I closed on our bungalow, Ethan scraped together the last penalty payment. Later I realized his chains were never about lacking roots. First they were me, that impossible future. Then came astronomical penalty fees and that bullshit debt of gratitude. But Ethan never explained. Just smiled brighter than our new keychain. Like some $80,000 shack made me Prince Charming. Liam's POV. 6. Grandpa gave me 2 companions, Ethan the fox and Max. Max was a dumb hamster. With my parents gone, I'm the Chun dynasty's last sprout. Grandpa knew I'd make a shit heir, so he bred me a strategist. Ethan came first. Max was the free toy. I hated Ethan's 100-faced schemes. But Max? So fun to tease. Cried cute. Laughed cuter. Munching snacks cutest. Best part? Never held grudges. Steal his candy. He'd still hug you. When Ryan left for Europe, I was raw. Then I saw Max counting his paycheck. Grinning like an idiot. Couldn't stand that sunshine. Stole his cash. Made him kiss me 1 bill per peck. So obedient. This giant with springy muscles. Biting till tears welled in those puppy eyes? Perfection. Ryan's icy elegance was my type. But sometimes you crave a dumb hamster. But someone like Max could be thrilling too. Not that I actually liked him. I just wanted to tease him, to push him around a little. The guy was so damn obedient. The kind of puppy, I'd loyalty that made you want to ruffle his hair. Too compliant. Really. So compliant it made me mistake his earnestness for something more. He once said kissing was only for people in love. I thought he was begging for commitment. As if he deserved that from me. Max was just some rough around the edges bodyguard. For Christ's sake. My heart belonged to someone like Ryan, untouchable, floating above earthly nonsense in his ivory tower. Max reeked of ordinary. Grease-stained shirts. Calloused hands that smelled like gun oil. I swore I'd never fall for that. But turns out Ryan's perfection was smoke and mirrors, while Max's warmth burned real against my skin. Crude? Sure. But love's a messy business. The joke's on me. When I finally peeled off my rose-tinted glasses, I saw him clearly, that idiot. His obedience wasn't devotion. That heart of his? Already pledged to some ghost from his past.